do everything myself. I had kids that helped me in school, but, I mean, let's face it. If my name was going on it, it was my responsibility, okay? And I wasn't paid for that at all. I got a reduced program. I didn't teach 5 classes. I taught 3. Sometimes I even taught 4, okay, and in my program. But I still had to do this and get to the printer. So I wound up spending more time than somebody who just came in, taught their classes, and left.
It's funny you said the printer, because my ex-wife, her uncle Owen still does, and out loud, I'm not gonna say her uncle owned a printing company, and I didn't like that. He owned it. I married into the family, and a big company out Long Island, probably the biggest one out Long Island, printing. The biggest printing company probably ever. Still is. And I didn't like the special treatment because people looked down on me. The workers looked down on me like, I'm trying to work hard here, and they're just like, you're with the uncle, and they look down on me.
Well, I don't think that probably in that setting, there's probably nothing you could have done that would make them accept you. Okay? The fact that your ex-wife's uncle owned the company and he hired you as a gesture of good faith.
Right.
They were just acting out of jealousy.
Well, look, they knew he had his own plane. We flew down to Atlantic City many times, and I came back on trips, but he used to tell stories about it, and these people worked hard too, and I'm like, business or family, the whole topic is tonight. I don't understand. I got looked down upon as far. I didn't like it. I worked hard. I did my job, and people are like, how was your trip this weekend with the uncle? It was weird.
It's jealousy. I mean, that's what it winds up being. I mean,
all the people wonder if I was getting more money, or if I was getting better treatment, or if I can leave for an hour earlier, or I can leave an hour later. I did get special treatment.
You did, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So they resented me when I have lunch with them or a water cooler conversation. It was just awkward because I liked the people, they liked me, but it's like, hey, Dan, how was your trip to Atlantic City? Hey,
yeah, the water cooler conversation changes drastically when you walk over.
Yeah.
Well, at least you realized that they were jealous, and there's nothing you could do about it. Some people don't even realize that, and they get really upset.
Well, I got to tell people that they don't know this about you, but I know that you expect me by 8 o'clock on radio days.
Absolutely.
And if I'm not here at 8 o'clock, you're standing by the door looking at your watch.
Right.
You're counting the minutes. He's going to dock me in my pay.
That's if you ever got paid. Imagine that.
That's true.
If you ever got paid, I'd be standing outside.
Oh God! Well, look, that's my past. But not just about your topic. How
about the idea of lending money to friends? What do you think of that?
I'm still upset about this Obamacare thing. I really am.
Well, and no matter what you talk about, Obamacare comes back every time.
You sound like Rick Santorum. I saw him on the news the other day. It might have been yesterday. And that's all he's talking about, Everything out of his mouth is Obamacare is going to be the downfall of the country.
It looks like it right now.
I don't know.
It's got to change. It's going to have to change.
Or I should say...
what's happening right now is that, just so you know, the biggest problem right now is no young people are signing up for it. And that's what you needed, is the young people to sign up.
Well, that's why he's going around the country and speaking at colleges, trying to get his point across that, right now many of the undergraduates, can stay on their family plan until they're 26.
Right.
So for many of them, if they have graduate school in their future or law school, law schools are 3 years, so you graduate at 22. By the time you graduate law school, you're close to 26, so you're just about ready to have your own policy. So what Obama is trying to do is get the young people to think about it at least, you know. But I still maintain, I am a firm believer that you have to give it time to work. I'm not saying it's easy, and let's face it, right now, you know, with the way it was rolled out and everything, left an awful lot to be desired.
Right.
Okay, it's like telling somebody as the Titanic is going down that you could have luxury accommodations. Okay.
I like how you phrase that, Mark. That's a good one. Good analogy.
Thank you. But the bottom line is, I really do think that they have to give it a chance to work.
Well, Mark, how you're subsidized because of the union and everything on your medical plan.
I'll be the first to say that I called up my union. I called up my initial carrier, and I called up Medicare coordination of benefits, and they said you're already on Medicare. You have insurance that you pay into through your union as a retired teacher, so you're basically set. Okay? So, I mean, yes, I am speaking as someone who sits back and doesn't have to go on the computer, answer all the questions, and then find out that the computer lost all my information and I have to do it again.
And also,
and it's not frustrating for me.
And you don't get the increase either that most people are getting.
Well, that I can't tell you because I don't know what my deductibles may or may not be going up to. Okay? I'll find out after January 1st, like everybody else. But suffice to say that, yes, I have insurance right now. It's something I don't have to go through.
Well,
but I really believe that people have to give it a chance to work. I mean, I've said it many times on the show, and Dan, you've heard me say it.
Yes.
The MIT economist who helped Romney roll it out in Massachusetts said basically that it took Massachusetts residents almost a year before they were happy and satisfied with what they were told they had to have. Okay? So really, that's about all I could say about it. First of all, it was a Heritage Foundation, which is a Republican-based think tank.
Right.
It was a Heritage Foundation policy, okay, rolled out by a Republican in Massachusetts, which is basically a blue state, okay, that once the people had it and it was up and running, they're very happy. You know, I remember when my daughter lived in Massachusetts, and we were talking about insurance. She said, well, in Massachusetts, you know, we're covered. You have to have it. You're paying into it, okay, and everybody has, you know, Massachusetts insurance.
The difference is right now, the biggest disappointment that I see, besides being more expensive, the policies are inferior to what I had. So I'm paying more for a lot less.
Right, the most.
And I have to pay double to get close to what I had.
But what did that friend of the family, Pia, tell you? I remember reading the email.
She didn't have a plan, so she had to pay $20,000. It wasn't that it cost her $20,000. It cost her $20,000 medical expenses. But you got to remember, if you could not afford a good plan with the affordable health plan, you got to pay for the plan, and then you got to lay out $12,000 to $14,000 each year before you get any money back.
I don't understand who benefits.
I mean, this is the inexpensive plan. Who spends $12,000-$14,000 a year? I don't know if anybody.
I don't.
You might as well just put the money in the bank
the problem is,
and hope you don't have a catastrophe.
The middle class is getting squeezed again. You know, they're getting squeezed, and we're paying. I don't say poor, but I did just say that. But we're paying for people who have, you know, they get $100 a month health insurance, and we're all paying $600 a month to $1,300 a month.
Well, you know, it's unfortunate, but you know, it's true. The impoverished don't have to pay into it.
Right.
Oh, they
okay.
do. Because they have to pay the deductibles. So even if they don't pay for the medical, just the deductibles are so expensive.
Well,
it's unbelievable.
Now you know why. Now you know why the hourly employees at Burger King and Wendy's went on strike in New York and across the country today.
Yeah, they're trying to get they're getting their, I guess, minimum wage increase.
I mean,
you know, I noticed that on Fox News, and I find this really hard to believe, that they said that those jobs, back in the day they were high school kids.
Yeah, but right.
Okay,
It's not
who
that
were
anymore.
earning
College
pocket
people-
money. Yeah, they were earning pocket money. But
Right.
now, I mean, you go into any fast food establishment now, and you see quite a few elderly people who are working.
Yeah.
Maybe the second job or the first job.
Some of them are women who
Yeah.
are single parents. Others are elderly who are trying to subsidize, let's say, a Social Security check or something like that. It's a sorry state of affairs. It truly is.
Mark is got another good good wording. You're right. I agree.
On the affordable health care plan, it used to be where it's you had deductibles, you had co-pays, and all that. Now all the plans are divided into different metal categories, starting off with bronze.
Bronze is the lowest.
Bronze is the lowest. That's for the poor people who can't afford anything else, but then they gotta pay like $12,000 or $14,000 to a family deductible a year. There is no co-pay. You don't pay. It pays you absolutely nothing until you meet your deductible.
Right.
What kind of a plan is that? There is no, it's worse than any catastrophe insurance because it's expensive. Catastrophe insurance used to be free. Not free, I mean very inexpensive. I mean, they give you one colonoscopy for free, and they'll give you one doctor visit a year for free. Great. What happens if you're sick? No co-pays, you pay the full amount. You go to the hospital, you pay the full amount.
As confused as you guys are with this thing, this is sold wrong. That's all it was.
I mean, and then they came out with the silver. The silver, I think you have to pay like $70 a co-payment or something to a doctor, and it's like $6,000 or $8,000 deductible. So you wind up paying the $12,000 in deductibles anyway, and you're paying more. And then they came out with the gold. Now they've got the platinum. The platinum costs a lot more than any of the other plans.
The platinum is like $2,500 to $3,000. Let's say $2,500 a month for the sake of argument for a family. Okay, but any trip to the doctor is free. No.
Ooh.
There are no. I heard there were no deductibles for that.
Read on, my son.
I know.
Read it. Read it.
So go ahead. What about it?
Well, why don't we go on and look? Does anybody mind? I'm going to go on and read it to you. Hold on.
Be my guest.
And Mark, please keep rolling for a second while I go look it up.
Well, why do you guys do that, Mark Felix? The stock market. Do you think it's going to crash again?
Do I think anything is possible?
Because it's just
never say never about something like that.
I know, but it's just like it's doing, everything's ripping, roaring, and everyone's all the old.
Well, you see, that's why people are pointing to the stock market and they're saying how it's come back and it's never been this high, But you still have millions of people that can't seem to find a job. Even though the unemployment dropped to 7%,
right,
which is a plus for the president and the economy. The bottom line is, like everybody says, and I hate to agree with a Republican, but it's true.
right.
You never know how many people stopped looking for work.
Right.
I mean, there are those people who the people who used to be 99%ers who collected unemployment for a year and a half or whatever it was, 99 weeks or something to that effect, and they can't get anything anymore.
So fast food joints, they're $7.
Oh, exactly. So I mean, they just dropped. They just dropped out completely, and either they're working two different, minimum wage jobs.
Right, but that's what happened. Now, Mark, though, I know your generation is different than mine. Again, I'm 40, but a lot of my friends.
You could be my son.
A lot of my friends, they moved back into their parents' home, or they went for a cheap home or somewhere, or they did something to get it just because they couldn't afford to, their $500,000 home.
You see, that's the sad thing when you have
right.
an adult child with a family